nation, and welcome to another edition of the Easy Cage, Darth Easy's top 10 movies of the year. I mean, we've been doing this since 2014, and we're keep going stronger. So, very interesting year for movies. I mean, I doubt we started off strong. The summer was good. I think the last part of the year kind of was a little mediocre-ish. I mean, there wasn't a lot of great Oscar movies that I was really hoping to see, but it is what it is.
There's still movie theaters still exist. And,
that's true. For now.
You know.
Da, da, da! Alright, guys. So, the way the top 10 works, as always, we do honorable mentions, 10 through 6, 5 through 2, and then we reveal our number ones at the same time. So, I'll go first this time. So, my first honorable mention is Glass Onion, A Knives Out Mystery. I really enjoyed this movie. Daniel Craig is still great. Ryan Johnson proves that he can still direct. The supporting cast around him. I mean, Kate Hudson was hilarious in the movie. Dave Bautista. And I really like Edward Norton. Was kind of the Fauci, or not the Fauci, that Tesla or whatever. Elon Musk kind of character in the movie. I saw people joking about that. I was like, that's kind of true. So I really enjoy Glass Onion. I think I like Knives Out better, and which is fun because I only think Knives Out was an honorable mention in the original when that original came out. I think it was a stronger year of movies that year. My second honorable mention is Cha Cha Real Smooth. This is a coming of age film that was released on Apple Plus. I really like this movie. I love coming of age stories. I think they're great. This guy, he's a babysitter for this girl. He kind of falls in love with Dakota Johnson, but then he realizes no, he's not really in love. He's just in love with the idea of being in love. So I really like Cha Cha Real Smooth. Check it out. It's on Apple right now. And my third and final honorable mention, I was kind of struggling with what to put on my final honorable mention, and I already knew he was going to throw one movie on the list. So I was like, let's give some love to some other movies. And I went with Weird, the Al Yankovic story. Daniel Radcliffe, becomes Weird Al. It was a very funny. It was a very parody of a biopic, which is very original for a Weird Al who parodies music. Daniel Radcliffe's a great movie. There's funny Madonna scenes in this movie. We're just like, what the hell? And then the ending made me laugh out loud. So Weird Al, definitely worth checking out. You can watch it on Roku. And that's my 3 honorable mentions.
All right. I haven't never heard of Cha Cha, and I'm only 30 minutes into Weird Al. So was Madonna actually in the movie?
No.
Oh, okay. And we'll talk about Glass Onion later. My first honorable mention. I am glad though that my list is affecting your list. Weird Al gets on here because of a technicality, it sounds like. Alright, my honorable mentions. My first one is Emily the Criminal. This came out in limited release like a month or so ago, in November, I think. But it's on Netflix now. It stars Aubrey Plaza. It's kind of like it's a crime thriller movie where she's really down on her luck, got a lot of college debt, has a little bit of a record, and she gets sucked into this life called I thought it was called shadow buying or shadow shopping or something. I don't know. I didn't know anything about it, but you learn about it in this movie, and it's very interesting. And I highly recommend it. Aubrey Plaza is fantastic in the movie. It's a nice, short, well-paced movie, and it just goes to show she's a good actress and should be in more things. My second honorable mention is Violent Night. I was kind of blown away by how much I like this movie. This is David Harbour plays Santa Claus, and it's kind of like Die Hard meets Home Alone meets The Santa Claus. What was the other one? There's another holiday movie.
Bad Santa?
Yes, a little bit of Bad Santa in there. But if you just want to watch, like I thought, okay, it's gonna be Santa kicking ass, but it's got a lot. It's got heart. It's got a lot of comedy. I forget his name, the dude who's playing the main villain in this movie.
That's Agostino.
Anyways, he's really good in it, and the action is really good, and I can totally see myself buying this and rewatching it for many holidays to come, which is hard to say for a lot of holiday movies lately. It's so I kind of liked it. This will be a new staple for me. It's fun. It is violent, but it's not super violent. But good movie. And then my third honorable mention is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. This is the Nick Cage where he plays himself. I am a big Nick Cage fan. It's the Rainy Cage fan. That's one half of it. The Rainy Cage name. And the Mandalorian, what's his name?
Pedro Pascal.
Yes, Pedro Pascal's in it. And they have good chemistry. And it's kind of like just a story about friendship. There's all this other stuff going on, and there's some action, and towards the end it does become kind of a generic action movie, but the chemistry is enough for me. Nick Cage is great in it, and I can't wait to watch it again. I had a ton of fun watching this in the theaters, so those are my 3 honorable mentions.
Never saw Emily the Criminal. Was going to watch it, but it got out of theaters. I don't have Netflix anymore, and Violent Night is fun. Christmas movie with that one actor. I don't know who his name is.
David Harbour.
And Unbearable Weight, I'll talk about later.
All right.
Now it's time to get my 10 through 6. My number 10 is The Fabelmans. It feels like I always have a Steven Spielberg movie on my top 10 lately. And I think The Fabelmans is a really good movie. It tells the story of the Spielbergs, or the Fabelmans. And as he's growing up life, he wants to be a filmmaker. And he has to he's like, does he follow love? Does he follow his artistic vision? And one of the funniest reviews I've heard of the movie is that I'm glad Steven Spielberg was able to tell us a story about how much he loved his parents and how gifted of a filmmaker he is. So I really like Fabelmans, though. I mean, Michelle Williams is great. Paul Dano is amazing. I love The Fabelmans. It's a good Spielberg movie. I will definitely buy this again and watch it again. My number 9 is Elvis. I mean, I'm a huge Elvis Presley fan, and I was worried about an Elvis movie. Is this movie perfect? No. I've seen this movie before. I think the last 30 minutes, whenever it's kind of a downward spiral when you're watching him die. And it's not like it's bad. It's just, I know what's coming. I already know it. I like the more fun parts of the movie. Tom Hanks is a little bit cartoony in the movie. That is my biggest complaint of the movie. But Austin Butler becomes Elvis Presley. He sounds like Presley. He has the mannerisms of Presley. And I mean, I hope he's at least nominated for an Oscar for this movie. And I think he should win, but Rami Malek kind of ruined that for everyone who plays musicians lately. Yeah, Elvis was great. I loved it. My number 8 is the first ever documentary on my top 10, and that was Navalny. It tells the story of Navalny. He's a politician in Russia who's been trying to become president for years, but Putin is Putin out there, and it's about the story about how they almost killed him, and it's about him tracking down who actually tried to murder him, and the conspiracy around with Putin and everything. This is a amazing documentary, and it's just so interesting, and the people's fight in Russia. I mean, it's just amazing. I highly recommend checking it out. My number 7 is Black Phone. This is a movie that came out the same weekend as Elvis, and I enjoyed the hell out of Black Phone. I mean, the Ethan Hawke is absolutely incredible in this movie. About him pulling the kid in the basement. The kid is talking to the last few victims of this murderer, and I think I mean, it's hard to beat kind of these horror thriller mix up movies sometimes, and Black Phone definitely landed the right spot for me. So yeah, Black Phone's amazing as well. My number 6 is the last movie I actually just watched it like 4 or 5 hours ago, and that is The Banshee of Inisherin. This is a story of Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson. Brendan Gleeson and Colin Farrell, they're pub buddies in Ireland in 1923, and Brendan Gleeson just decides, yeah, I'm not going to be friends with you, Colin Farrell, anymore. And he said, you keep talking to me, I want to cut my fingers off and throw it at your door. It happens. So, and he just wants to live, Colin Farrell wants to be buddies with his friends, but Brendan Gleeson says, I don't have any more years left in my life, and I really don't like our conversations, so I'm done with you. It's a movie about friendships, but also a movie about saying bye to friends that because you know they're not really that good for you. Banshees of Inisherin is a great film. I highly recommend checking it out, and that's my 10 through 6.
All right. I mean, The Fabelmans was right at the cutoff for me. I did really enjoy it. And the Nalvani and the Banshees of Inisherin, didn't watch them, so I have no comment on those. But your other ones are great. My number 10, speaking of your other ones, is The Black Phone. Like you said, Ethan Hawke, freaking fantastic in this movie. He's, the villain, the guy who's kidnapping kids, and it's got a little bit of a ghost story, a little bit of a kidnapping mystery kind of story element to it. It's got a little bit of I don't know. It feels kind of almost like a Stephen King movie at times, or book. It feels like It a little bit, but I loved it. The performances are great. It was one that I went and saw a couple weeks late, so it didn't make my mid-year top 10 list, and it definitely would have if I had seen it a little earlier. My number 9 is The Batman. This is Matt Reeves' newest take on Batman. It's been, what's it been since the last Batman movie? Like 10
Dark Knight
years
Rises came out 2013. So
almost 10 years.
9 years.
Yeah. And I was super excited about this. No, am I the biggest Robert Pattinson fan in the world? No. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It felt kind of Batman Begins for me. Like, I feel like the potential for other movies is going to be through the roof. You get more of a detective Batman in this. And I will say, I liked his portrayal as, Robert Pattinson's portrayal as Bruce Wayne. I don't know how I feel about him as the Batman. So that's still my little hiccup with it. But I only watched it once. I just bought it. I can't wait to watch it again. It's great visuals, great soundtrack. I did really enjoy it. So, yeah, that's my number 9. My number 8 is Glass Onion. This was in your honorable mentions. This is the sequel to Knives Out, like you said. I really liked Knives Out. I don't remember if I had it on my list or not. Probably not. I think I like this one as much as, or maybe a little bit better than the first one. The cast is great. You're right. Kate Hudson, she was fantastic in the movie. Edward Norton was great as this billionaire, almost villain-like character. It was just a good cast. It was funny. I still love Daniel Craig as Blanc. I can't ever say his first name, but he's hilarious. I can't wait to see more movies in this franchise.
If they make more.
Yeah, Netflix, could you release these movies in theaters for a little bit longer in more theaters? Because it was ridiculous. I know multiple people that went to go try to see this movie and could not get in because there was not enough showings. But I guess Netflix just doesn't like money. And then number 7 for me is probably the biggest shocker on this list of all time, because I wasn't even going to see this movie, and that's Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. I couldn't tell you a thing about the last Puss in Boots. I don't even know how many last Puss in Boots there are. There may be multiple Puss in Boots movies. I don't know. Now, during COVID, I did rewatch the Shrek movies, and I fell in love with them again. They're great. The Shrek movies are really good. But this movie came out. It was getting a lot of reviews. Somebody called it the Logan of the Shrek universe, and now I get why. After watching it, it does have a very Western feel to it. It is an animated Western. The visuals are fantastic. It's got almost this cel-shaded, hand-painted look, the whole movie. It looks a lot like The Bad Guys, another DreamWorks movie from earlier in the year that actually wasn't too bad either. The story's fantastic. It is so good. It's a darker take on the character for sure. Basically, death is hunting him the whole movie. And so it's about mortality, and there's some other stuff in there too. And I loved it. I walked out of the theater and I was like, I can't believe this is easily the best animated movie of the year, which this year's been kind of crappy for animated movies. My number 6 is a movie that's getting a lot of hate, but I think it deserves another look, and that's Thor: Love and Thunder. I have been kind of harsh on the MCU of late. Besides Spider-Man and maybe Shang-Chi, the Phase 4 MCU movies have been colossal letdowns. Thor, though, I went in, I loved it, came out loving it, and then I heard everybody was just shitting on this movie, talking about how crappy it was, and I don't know. I don't get it. I think Gore, the God Butcher, played by Christian Bale, is fantastic. I wish we got more with him. I've heard that there's longer cuts of this movie that we're never going to get to see. I liked what they did with Natalie Portman's character, Lady Thor, even though she doesn't like to be called Lady Thor. I enjoyed the kind of twist at the end with his daughter. So I really liked this movie. Yes, it's very Taika Waititi. It's a very Taika Waititi movie. But everybody loved that in Ragnarok. So I don't get the hate. Maybe it's too much Taika Waititi. I don't know. But for me, I had a blast watching this, and it was easily the best MCU film of the year. And I'm looking forward to rewatching this again soon. And that's my 10 through 6.
All right, so Thor: Love and Thunder. I enjoyed it. Didn't love it. I mean, it's fine. The only thing I don't remember about the movie the most is
I don't like the goats.
The goats steal the show.
But a lot of people say that's their only part they like about the movie.
And Puss in Boots, I hate the trailer so much. So
you're gonna have to watch it sometime.
Well, I might watch it.
Be in for a treat.
I might watch in January if there's something along with it for me to watch. But yeah, everything else I've pretty much talked about or going to talk about. All right, my number 5. This movie shocked the hell out of me, and that was Prey. I mean, I'm not the biggest Predator fan. I mean, I really like the original Predator, but that's really the only Predator I've ever watched because the other ones I've heard are not the greatest. But, I like the idea of setting this in 1700 or 1600 America with, you had the French in there, which I was like, wow, that's historically accurate. There would be French trappers there. And I like the story of the girl. She's trying to prove herself as a hunter, and then a predator comes to town, and you're like, holy shit! Chaos ensues. Like, holy crap! I don't know why this movie was not released in theater, because I think this is a movie I could have enjoyed it a lot more if I had seen that in like an RPX, seeing the fight between the Comanches and fighting against the Predator would have been awesome. And I was like, this. I could see so many other different movies set there, Predator movies set in this like timeline. Like wouldn't it be awesome to watch like a samurai versus a Predator? That'd be cool. I mean, there's just.
Like an Assassin's Creed, but with predators.
Yes. So, I mean, obviously we've proven we can't really do, but, it's good to see one of these 80s franchises get a revamp, but also tie into the original movies. So, I enjoy Predator. It's worthy watch. My number 4 is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. This movie, I loved it. I absolutely love the movie. I love Nick Cage just playing a parody version of Nick Cage. And, there's some really funny moments in this movie. I really like Pedro Pascal. I like him and his runnership. Which are, top 3 movies. Like, Face Off and Paddington 2. And they watch Paddington 2 and they're just crying. And the relationship with Nick Cage and his daughter is pretty sweet. I really... Like I said, Unbearable Weight is an amazing movie, great performances, and yeah, I loved it. My number 3 is The Menu. I really love this movie. Ray Fiennes is absolutely incredible. Anna Taylor-Joy, Nicholas Hoult. There's other people in this movie that are amazing in it. But I mean, it kind of preaches at you a little bit, but it doesn't feel so forced upon you. And Ray Fiennes, like I said, is always amazing, and Anna Taylor-Joy is always amazing. And I love this movie, and it really did make me hungry. That's a good thing. So Yeah, menu.
Even when he was making the hamburger, I was getting a
The hamburger looked delicious.
The hamburger looked good, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward. I love the menu, and it was one of those movies that did not disappoint. My number 2 is...
Boom, 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 boom.
The Batman. The Batman movie was a movie that I was very worried about it, just because of DC and what's still going on in DC. But Matt Reeves, when I heard, he was like, I'm looking at Alfred Hitchcock movies. I'm looking at Year 2 Batman. And to bring in the Riddler, who was more like a version of Hush, bringing in Colin Farrell as the Penguin was absolutely terrific. Bringing Zoe Kravitz in as Catwoman. And I love what they did with the Batman, because he's not truly Batman yet. This is Year 2 Batman. And so the costume's not completely there. He's not the Bruce Wayne that we know in the comics, where he's the party boy. No, this is a guy who lost everything. He's a brooding, he's still a brooding kid, and he's like, no, I'm not justice, I'm vengeance. I'm going out, I'm gonna make people suffer because I'm suffering. I don't care about my legacy, and the action's great. Gotham City looks a horrible place to live. Nobody should ever live in Gotham City, and it's always raining. Who wants that? Yeah, the Batman movie blew me away. I've seen it 3 times, and I'm looking forward to watching it on 4K. I have it. I'm looking forward to rewatching it. So yeah, the Batman was one of my favorite movies I've seen this year, but there was one movie that blew me away.
All right.
That's my 5 through 2.
I like it. I like all of it, really. Prey, I didn't make my list, but I did really enjoy it. And Massive Talent, the only thing for me that I think kept it, which is crazy that you have it so much higher than me, but was just the end. It felt kind of like a generic action movie towards the end, but I would have just liked more time with him and the Mandalorian hanging out.
Pedro Pascal.
Yes, Pedro Pascal. He's my David Harbour. All right, my number 5 is Elvis. You talked about it earlier. I, though, am not the biggest fan of Elvis, or I guess I didn't know I was until I saw this movie, because I freaking love this movie. I overlooked Tom Hanks's cartoonish character. I didn't know anything about the story of Elvis other than, I mean, I've heard a couple things, but I didn't know, like, most of the backstory. So it was fun for me. Well, not fun, but it was hard to watch for me, watching this story of this kid and how he becomes, super famous, and, the stuff with his mom, there was a lot of stuff going on in this movie that I really connected with. And then I loved the music, and I was just, for months on end, it was in my Spotify top 5. I was just rocking Elvis for the rest of the year. And Austin Butler, I think he deserves a nomination and a win. I agree. He's fantastic as the character. Don't really know him from anything else, so he would definitely be in my kind of newcomer of the year category if we do our awards this year. But yeah, I loved Elvis. Number 4, I had The Menu. Here we go. Yes, chef.
Yes, chef!
Another movie I was like, kind of didn't know what I was getting into when didn't we go see this in theaters together? Yeah. And I was kind of blown away. Ray Fiennes. So freaking good. Really, really good. It's definitely his movie, but Anya Taylor-Joy's great. Really, Nicholas Hoult too. Like, he makes this turn towards the middle of the movie, and it's just all really well done. You're right. They're definitely trying to get a point across, but I don't know. I like the performances. There's a little bit of humor in it, and I'll be buying this for sure when it comes out on Blu-ray. May already be out on Blu-ray. I don't know, but I really enjoyed it.
It came out in October.
My number 3 was kind of another surprise that I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. It was Bullet Train. This is Brad Pitt. It's kind of what I was starting to get sick of with movies is this kind of John Wick type of storytelling where we're setting up these worlds and there's an over reliance on, I don't know how to put it, but we've gotten a lot of John Wick clones here lately. A lot of movies that are trying to be like John Wick, and this is not that. This is basically, Brad Pitt's character he is an assassin, but he's not a very good assassin, and he doesn't really want to be an assassin. And then there's all these side characters, Tangerine. It's so good. The characters are good. It's really funny. It's really good action. There are a couple shots towards the end where the CG is a little off. But it's probably because this movie was made in COVID times and they were saving money. But I loved it. There's really good cameos in this movie. I'll ruin one of them. Channing Tatum. It's so funny in this movie. And he pops up 2 or 3 times. He's really funny. It's fun time. It's action packed. Another movie that I have on my list to buy. It is on Blu-ray, but I haven't got it yet. But I can't wait to watch it again. It was fun. My number 2, which has been slowly climbing up my list in the last couple weeks since it came out, and that's the Avatar: The Way of the Water. It's only been out a week and a half, but and I'm going to see it again a 3rd time. But I love Avatar. It's my favorite movie of all time. 2009. I didn't know if we were ever going to get sequels, and I think I went in a little overhyped because I just love James Cameron and I love The Last Avatar. But on another viewing, it's a freaking masterpiece visually. I mean, it's the special effects, the 3D, it's top notch. The music's really good, even though we lost James Horner. But I see what he's trying to do story-wise, what he's setting up for the future. And while there are a couple throwaway things that I was like, man, like I wish we had spent more time. For instance, is Earth dying, and is this the only planet we can go to? I don't know. But more importantly, the Sigourney Weaver character is the one that I can see what he's trying to set up there, and I'm looking forward to future movies. It's also like kind of a beautiful movie about family. It's action packed. The 3rd act is
family.
Yeah, is beautiful and just fun, and it is a little bit of James Cameron throwing his greatest hits out there. He's like, you guys like Titanic? I'm going to show you, Titanic again, and really quickly. So I loved it. I want to go see it a 3rd time. I'm wanting to go see it as many times in theaters because I know it's not going to be the same once it's out of theaters, because it's the ultimate theater experience movie. So, and this is the one that you knocked out for Weird Al. Such a shame.
So listen, Bullet Train, didn't see it. Don't think I'll ever watch it.
Oh, you like it.
And now Avatar, I had a lot of problems with Avatar. Visually, you're right. Masterpiece. My problem with Avatar: Way of Water is the story. The story is all over the place. I think it felt too long. It was 3 hours and 15 minutes. I felt like I could have cut an hour and a half of the movie, and I don't feel like I would have lost anything. And it feels like they're also cramming in so many stuff. I just think we could have spent this entire movie in the woods, about leaving the woods, about how we have to protect our family, about us and setting up the next generation of tree people. And
I'll agree with you.
And I think the movie would have been better. And then we could save the water stuff from the 3rd movie.
Yeah.
I think there's 2 movies. The movie I'm comparing this to and is Batman v Superman. And it's just because there's so much crammed in this movie that I don't feel like we get a fully fleshed out movie in this. Just because it's just too much. It's just way too much.
I kind of agree. It's long, and it does feel like 2 completely different movies packed into one. But I don't know.
But I knew it would be on your list, so that's why I did. I mean, it's all of a sudden. If we had 4 honorable mentions,
it would have been there.
They would have been there.
Okay.
If we did top 20, it would have been there. I'm just saying. That's the reason.
Okay.
My number 1, and this is only the 2nd time we've ever done this.
Did we do it last year?
No, we did when Infinity War came out.
Okay.
So this is only the 2nd time it's ever happened. And my top movie of the year is Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick is why I love movies. Point straight to the point. Tom Cruise, is amazing in this movie. I think Oscar-worthy performance in this movie. I truly believe that. The dogfight scenes, it's real. I mean, it's real. And now my problem with Marvel is just, I feel like when I'm watching a Marvel movie, I feel like it's fake. There's nothing fake about Top Gun. The character progressions from the original and from the 1980s one, because the original one's fun. It's an 80s movie. Top Gun Maverick, I think it's a timeless movie. And like I said, the last 30, 40 minutes of the movie, you're on the edge of your seat. And it is just incredible. The callbacks from the original don't feel forced. They feel very natural. I love this movie. It's the best movie I've probably seen in the last 3 to 5 years. Maybe even longer.
Damn.
So, Top Gun Maverick, awesome movie.
I agree with a lot of what you said. I just recently watched Top Gun, like a couple of months before the new one came out. I had never seen it, and everybody chastised me for that. And when I watched it, I enjoyed it, but I was like, this is not the greatest movie of all time. So it almost worked against the sequel for me, because I was like, I don't know. And for me, the special effects in the 80s Top Gun are dated. There is a lot of shots of just cockpit shots and then shots of a plane flying across the screen over and over again. So when we go to watch this movie, I'm not super pumped. And I was completely blown away. This movie is fucking amazing. Like you said, the last 30, 40 minutes of this movie, I mean, if I had any nails left, it would be surprising. It is like edge of your seat, like giving you goosebumps. It felt like the greatest Star Wars star battle ever created. And I mean, it was just incredible. And yeah, the story, I guess because it was fresh on my mind, it just felt really good. The progression of the characters and everything that happened in the first movie. And yeah, there was a couple copy and paste moments. We had to have our volleyball scene in our new movie type stuff.
They were playing volleyball. They were playing football.
It's basically copy and paste. We got to hit this moment of this movie. That would probably be my only complaint of the movie.
And that's nitpicking.
That is definitely nitpicking because it's fantastic. And I was just like, man, I want to see more. I want to and not have to wait 20 years or whatever. I'd love to see more in this universe. And it proves once again that freaking Tom Cruise. I mean, he's the guy. I mean, it was just fantastic.
Yes.
But I really liked what's his name, Miles Teller, as Goose's Rooster, yeah. And I had a ball watching this. And for somebody that I would probably give the first movie like a 3.5 or 4 maybe, this was easily the best movie ever for me.
And this becomes one of those films that is in a conversation of The Godfather Part 2, Toy Story 2. The Empire Strikes Back as sequels that are better than the original. Yep. Alright guys, that ends another top 10 movies of the year. We did it, Randy Cage.
Nice.
So, and yeah, I mean, we do this every year. Make sure you stay tuned. Tomorrow, there will be a top 10 TV shows of the year. Nice. Don't even know what's on his list yet. He doesn't know what on mine because he doesn't really watch a lot of TV, but you can check that out. And then the day after that, you'll be able to, or first of the year, hopefully, will be the top 10 anticipated movies of 2023. So you can check that out all here on the Darth Easy YouTube channel. So guys, if you like this video, click that thumbs up button, subscribe to see more, and tell your friends about Easy Nation.
Peace out.
All too easy.